Hi, welcome to my video. I'm looking at the Monotribe analog ribbon station and the new operating system that Korg have brought out, version 2.0, downloadable from their site. I'm going to go through each of the new features and give you a quick demo. And first off is volume. You can now record volume changes within a pattern live on the Monotribe, much as you would do if you're familiar with the Korg Electribes, or maybe you do it in your digital audio workstation. It's basically volume automation. So first off, you want to put it in record mode, play your pattern. Now to record volume changes, you need to put your finger on active step button, hold that down, and then use the ribbon controller. If you slide your finger to the left, you'll lower the volume, to the right, and you'll bring the volume up. And as you can hear, the volume changes have been recorded. If you need the volume at maximum again, just press active step and keep your finger and increase the volume to maximum. In version 2.0, the way you use active step has been changed. Before, if you pressed active step and played a pattern, you could activate or deactivate various steps and they would be missed from the pattern. I'll just do that now. And as you can see, the pattern's just looping between step 1 and 8. So that affects the pattern as a whole globally. In version 2.0, you can now just affect one individual part. So if you press, say, the synth and active step, you can change the active steps that are just particular to the synth. And as you can hear, none of the drum parts have been changed. Now, if you press the active step button and none of the other buttons, the Monotribe will display what sort of data has changed. Now, if there's a light that is kept on, that means no active steps have been changed for any of the parts. So in step 1, none of these parts have had their active step deactivated. If you have an LED that is flashing on and off, it means some of the parts have been changed. So we know, for instance, that the synth part has been changed. It has had some active steps changed. However, some of the other parts haven't. So the flashing is just showing you that some data has changed. Also, if you press active step by itself, you can still edit each part, and that will be shown when you look at an individual part. So active step editing overrides anything you've done on the individual steps. So we can see that if I go to active step and hold down the synth, you can see I've overridden 6, 4 and 3 that I'd taken away previously. In version 2.0, the way the gate time button works in conjunction with the ribbon controller has changed. In version 1.0, you would press the gate time button and slide your hand up and down the ribbon controller to open and close the gate. And again, in version 1.1, that would affect all of the parts as a whole. Now, in version 2.0, it has a different effect on different parts. On the synth part, it still works as a normal gate, but on the drum parts, it now works as a drum roll feature. So I'll just show you that. So you can hear just affecting the synth part. But if I choose a snare drum, I'll just get rid of the synth part so you can just hear the drums. You will now get a drum roll feature. Now if you want to get rid of that part, just keep your finger on gate time again and keep it to the far left of the ribbon controller. You can also choose other parts and get glitch type effects. One of the great things about the 2.0 operating system from Korg is the way it utilises the gate time button as a function button. If you press the gate time button in conjunction with any of the sequencing buttons, they all perform a different function now. Buttons 1 to 4 perform one-shot functions. Buttons 5 to 8 perform an on-off type function. So I'm going to go through them sequentially. If I press gate time and button 1, that will now initialize all the data in the Monotribe, all the pattern data, all the active steps. If I press gate time in conjunction with button 2, it now initializes just the synth part. If I press gate time along with button 3, that will just initialize the drum parts. Again, getting rid of pattern data, active steps, etc. If you press gate time and button 4, that will initialize just the active step data, so it will turn all the active steps back to on. By far my favourite feature in the new Monotribe 2.0 operating system is the new sample and hold feature. To use that, you'll need to go to the LFO section and make sure your mode switch is set to one shot LFO. I'll just play a pattern in one shot. To activate the sample and hold, you need to press gate time and then step sequencer button 5. So you can hear it's great for sound effects, that sort of vintage computer data noise and various sci-fi effects. Pressing the gate time button in conjunction with button 6 now gives the synth part 8 extra steps, much the same as you could do in version 1.0 for the drum parts. So I'll just show you that. Now to turn those extra parts on and off, as you do with the drum parts, you just keep your finger on the synth button to turn those parts on and off. So I've turned them all off here. We should just hear the basic 8 steps again. And we'll add some back in. Pressing gate time with sequencer button 7 now changes the way that note information is recorded if you have recorded gate time information into the pattern. So if I record some gate time here, now if I add a new note, it will override the gate time and sound the note for as long as I hold it down. And as you can hear, there's no gate time on that new note. However, if I want to add new notes and have the gate time not affected, I can press gate time and 7, and as I add new notes, the gate that I originally had will be applied to them. I'll add some new gate time. So I'll press gate time and 7, Now I'll add some new notes, and the gate should stay the same. As you can hear, the gate has stayed the same. Take the gate time off, and now when I press a new note, I'll get rid of the gate. The last function is the gate time plus sequencer button 8, and that basically halves the tempo of whatever's being put into the in jack of the sync section, whether that be an old analog drum machine, it could be the Korg sync application from the iTunes store for any of your Apple devices. I've got a video in my profile demonstrating that, and that works very effectively if you get the volume just right. So that in a nutshell is 2.0. I think it's been a great update. The sample and hold feature is excellent, adds much more scope for sound, and also all the different functions you get with holding gate time down. Just being able to initialize separate parts makes working much quicker. The one thing I do miss on the Monotribe, and I can understand why it's not there, it's not what it's about, is I wish there was more places to save patterns. You can only save one pattern. However, if you're using Ableton or anything that loops quickly, you can get some nice sequences down and record them, and it's great fun, as well as the fun you can have with linking the Monotribes up. So well worth a download. I'll do another video of how to install the new operating system. A couple of things to watch out for: you will have to change the volume to get it just right for the Monotribe to pick up the data on the sync in. And also make sure you're putting the jack into the sync in rather than the audio in, if you're not experienced with using the sync section. And that's it. Thanks for watching.